Hello indie game fans, as mentioned in the Best of the Month video a couple of days ago, April did have its share of surprises, with a number of great indie games coming out. We have a bunch of action titles, as well as a smaller experience that really took off, all of this and more coming right up. Let's begin with Unsouled, a pixel art action title that was released out of early access and onto consoles, coming to us from a Korean developer and is fairly impressive for their first game on Steam. This has almost Souls-like combat with a stamina meter, where the highlight is the combat system, which has plenty of combos, counters, parries, and so on. There is an extensive upgrade system as well, where you are using the souls of your enemies to power up, being an action title of interest. In recent videos, I've talked about how Mega Man Battle Network has inspired a generation of game developers, a number of which have gone on to make games inspired by that series, with EndCycle vs certainly being a title of interest. It is a real-time tactical deck builder where you're choosing attacks and firing them off in real time while moving, aiming, and avoiding enemy attacks, leading to some of the most intense combat sequences that I have seen. It does have an interesting twist on this subgenre in that there is neutral ground where both you and your enemies can move into, as compared to other similar titles like One Step from Eden or MMBN, where there's no such area, where this does have strategic implications as enemies crowd your space. I do like the variety of playable characters here, with a full campaign and even PvP support, where this was in early access for quite a while, so I'm happy to see the full release. If you love cozy games, the pick of the month has to be Cat Cafe Manager, one where you're put in charge of such a shop, having to take care of both your customers and cats while catering to their needs. There are plenty of customization and upgrade options as you build out and expand the cafe, with a central mystery to uncover as well, all with an adorable look, making this a must-play. A third-person action roguelite is Holomento, a subgenre that is not all that common in the space, but I do believe you'll be getting more of these in the years ahead, since developers are becoming more comfortable with the design of this rather than the top-down 2D pixel art roguelites. It has a little bit of a generic fantasy theme, where you're fighting skeletons, slimes, wolves, and so on, but structurally, it does everything right for one of these. There are various towns which you can restore and permanently upgrade once you have enough resources, as well as an ever-expanding roster of playable character classes to keep things interesting. The whole roguelite structure of the game is also tied into the in-game lore, where the titular Holomento is a book that binds itself to travelers to the region, adding the soul of said character into the book if the character perishes, but presumably knowledge is passed down in that way as well. I do like how different this game is, so it's another great title to watch in early access. If you love boomer shooters, an obvious pick is Turbo Overkill, one that shares many similar elements to the old school classics, but manages to do so without having to use the ultra lo-fi look like the original Doom, Quake or Wolfenstein 3D. Rather, it is a 3D title with modern-ish graphics, where you play as a cyborg with augmentations like a chainsaw leg and arm rockets, returning to his hometown to stop a dangerous AI. They've managed to somewhat solve progression in modern first-person shooters, where getting kills gets you cash, which is used for upgrades, and defeating a boss will get you an augment based on their abilities. Everything from the look, setting, action and speed of the game simply screams awesome, where the early access version has the first out of 3 episodes, which does have 8 levels plus 8 secret unlockable ones, already being one of the finest examples of a modern one of these. To be honest, we have definitely seen games like Ember Knights before, a pixel art action roguelite that is similar to games like Hades, but my god, the developers have gotten that formula down and refined the game feel such that it is an excellent one of these. I had some reservations going into this game after previewing it a couple of times, where, like many of you, I thought that it could have been more of the same, and in many ways it is, but the tightness of the action from how the dodge works, iframes and hitboxes on enemies is all on point, simply feeling great to play, making this another one to watch in early access, although I have not tried the co-op myself, which is supposed to be a highlight. I love my Diablo-style action RPGs, which is why Ghostlore gets on the list, one that uses Southeast Asian mythology as a basis, which is very refreshing as compared to the more common European fantasy settings. It does have decent combat, some interesting skills and the expected loot which is well done, and with 6 base character classes which you can mix and match like in Titan Quest, does provide some variety. Despite being in early access, the single player is complete and you can roll credits on the game, but there are additional areas, enemies and co-op support to be added. I always mention how amazed I am with developer Sockpop Collective, a team of 4 guys who uses Patreon to great effect, where they like to make smaller, interesting games with at least one new release every month, with their latest being Stacklands. This is a village builder simulation title where you're trying to get food to feed your villagers through the use of cards, being able to build structures or fight enemies, or even tech up with new ideas, all with a very pleasant look. We have had our share of physics simulation games over the years, most recently with Teardown in the Best of the Month recap, but if you prefer a more macro-scale approach and one that is not first-person, a Briss Built to Destroy will be one to get. Rather than building functional siege weapons like in Besiege, you're instead building megastructures with the intention to crash them into the target building, with the particle effects and level of simulation in this being simply amazing. It is oddly relaxing to see these buildings blow up into a million pieces, having to use physics to your advantage, such as building a gigantic pendulum to act as a wrecking ball. There are guns and other parts available as well, so if you love physics titles, this is one to pick up.
I heard we were about to meet.
I love pixel art and roguelites, so of course Astral Ascent gets top billing, a fantastic one of these that has you fighting your way out of an astral prison, challenging bosses based on the astrological zodiac signs.
Do you really think you have what it takes? With friends at your side.
This is from developer Hibernian Workshop, who made the underrated 2D Souls-like Dark Devotion, where their attempt at a roguelite is pretty good so far.
Glad to see you again.
They've taken lessons and learnt from the best in the space, being, reductively, Dead Cells meets Wizard of Legend with a dash of Hades, combining awesome melee combat with a dash of magic, as well as NPCs that you'll get to know over time.
You know, I only battle worthy opponents. So if you want to fight me, remember one thing. Don't disappoint me.
This is it! Time to shine!
The early access version has 2 out of 5 playable characters, 2 out of 4 worlds to explore, and 5 out of 12 Zodiac bosses, so there is quite a bit of development to be done, but based on what is currently in the early access version, certainly has the potential to turn out very well, taking the #1 spot. For more roguelite titles, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.
Welcome to the Red Barons.